All right, hi guys. This video is going to be helping with Formative 11 that actually helps you go through reading a journal article. We're not going to read the entire thing, so we're going to kind of skip through some of it, but I definitely want you to read it in order so that you can help yourself understand it and also be more aware of what's going on right now. So let's jump right into it. First thing you do, read the directions. You know that. Read the directions. So we're going to use the given article to answer the following questions on the world's current pandemic, coronavirus. Let's learn about what we're facing. You do not need to write in full sentences for questions 1 through 15, and the article is printed and the link is also on the very bottom of this page. One thing I do want to notate is that this article has been updated since you received your packets. Now, this article is called Features, Evaluation, and Treatment of Coronavirus, also known as COVID-19. Let's go read number 1. It says, what does WHO stand for? Number 2 also states, what did the original name SARS-CoV stand for? And number 3, let's go ahead with what's the full scientific name for COVID-19 given by WHO? And you should see on your page that it says use introduction, etiology, and transmission. That means that we're looking under introduction. If I scroll down, etiology and transmission. So that's what we're reading under to find the answers to questions 1 through 10. Oop, nope, 1 through 13, sorry. Okay, so number 1, according to the World Health Organization, WHO, viral diseases continue to emerge and represent a serious issue to public health. In the last 20 years, several viral epidemics, such as the severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus, look at that, that's number 2, in 2002 to 2003, and H1N1 influenza in 2009 have been recorded. Most recently, the Middle East respiratory syndrome coronavirus, MERS-CoV, was the first identified in Saudi Arabia in 2012. Now, the reason that number 2 has a 2 after it, so first question, who is the World Health Organization? Number 2, what did the original name SARS-CoV-2 stand for? SARS stands for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus. There is a -2 after it because this is the second one that has the SARS type of symptoms. Now, if we go down, it says, what is the full scientific name of COVID-19? So definitely I want you to read that, but I'm not going to be able to read all of it on the video. But we see here COVID-19. That's the first time we see that on here. So let's start at the beginning. It says on February 11th, 2020, the World Health Organization director announced that the disease caused by this new COVID or coronavirus was a COVID-19, which is the acronym of Coronavirus Disease 2019. So, COVID 2019 stands for Coronavirus Disease, and then it's actually giving the year 2019. Now, let's go ahead and move on down in these paragraphs. The next question states, what type of structure or appearance does COVID-19 have? If we go down, we'll see that it literally says the coronaviruses or COVs have become the major pathogens of emerging respiratory disease outbreaks. They are a large family of single-stranded RNA viruses. That's what I'm looking for. It's single-stranded. Next, what does the prefix coronum mean and why is this term used? If we start at etiology, and your etiology is just going to be the cause or the cause of a disease or the cause of the condition. So we're looking at coronaviruses are positive stranded RNA viruses with a crown-like appearance under the electron microscope. They are given the name coronavirus, or coronum is your Latin term for crown. That's why we're using it. So your answer for there should be corona means crown, and it tells you why. It has a crown-like appearance. Boom. There we go. Crown-like appearance when viewed under a microscope. If we go to the next question, I want you to actually think and look through your notes. How does the word glycoprotein relate to our biomolecules? Think back. Our four biomolecules: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acid. You automatically see one of those words in there. But glyco actually goes with a different, ooh, I almost gave you the answer, goes with a different biomolecule. I want you to tell me which one it goes with. My hint is there are four types of polysaccharides that I taught you guys, including, and I'm not going to give you, well, okay, we had glycogen, we had starch, we had chitin, and we had cellulose. I'm not going to tell you which biomolecule that belongs to. You need to tell me. All right, number 7. What family does the coronavirus belong to? If we keep reading, the next sentence states the subfamily of Orthocoronavirinae of the Coronaviridae family. Boom, we have our answer. Coronaviridae. That is the family that the coronavirus belongs to. Another thing that I want you guys to note is that we are going to be going, in the next few weeks, we're going to be going into classification on how living things are classified, or also how viruses might be classified. And we'll learn that order. All right, let's move on to the next question. I want you to be able to tell me what are 3 symptoms or descriptions of COVID-19. I want you to tell me, where was the first documented case of COVID-19? It was in China, but I would like for you to tell me exactly where. I'll read this part of the first paragraph of transmission. So it states, because the first case of COVID-19 disease were linked to direct exposure to the Huanan, I hope I said that right, seafood wholesale market of Wuhan, the animal to human transmission was presumed as the main mechanism. Nevertheless, subsequent cases were not associated with this exposure mechanism. Therefore, it was concluded that the virus could also be transmitted from human to human, and symptomatic people are the most frequent source of COVID-19 spread. This was a few weeks ago where they put that in there. As we keep going on, we're learning in the news that there are a lot of people that are asymptomatic, and that means not symptomatic, because remember when we put an A in front of a word, that means not. So you have a lot of people that are asymptomatic and not showing any symptoms at all, and they are actually helping to pass that virus around. So let's go through, move on down. So let's move to the next part. I want you to be able to tell me about pathophysiology. So right here it says go down to the pathophysiology section. So you're looking past epidemiology. You're going to go to pathophysiology right here. And it says, does this virus have an envelope? Right here in the very first part of the sentence. Coronaviruses, or COVs or COVs, are enveloped. They are positive stranded RNA viruses with a nucleocapsid. Describe what type of virus CoV is. Examples. The question says examples DNA slash RNA slash positive slash negative. So pretty much you can tell me that. Explain or put your answer for how you would describe this virus. The next part says approximately how long is the virus. So if we're looking here, this next part of right here, in coronaviruses, the genomic structure is organized in a positive single-stranded RNA, meaning ribonucleic acid, of approximately 30 kb in length. Let's think, what does kb mean? When we're talking about length, whether we're in science or math and geography for social studies and all of that, K usually means kilo. When we hear the word kilo, we should be thinking 1,000. Now, there are two ways that this could have been written. It could have said 30 kb, and it also could have said 30 kbp, because this actually means 30 kilo base pairs. All right, moving on. If we move down some, the next part says go to history and the physical section. So if we go down to history and the physical section, this states the clinical spectrum of COVID-19 varies from asymptomatic or polysymptomatic forms to clinical conditions characterized by respiratory failure that necessitates mechanical ventilation and support in the intensive care unit, also known as ICU, to multi-organ, meaning many organs, and systematic manifestations in terms of sepsis, septic shock, multiple organ dysfunction syndrome, known as MODS. If we're looking here for your questions, the questions state, the author of the Chinese CDC gave examples of clinical manifestations. I want you to take one manifestation, one from mild, one from severe, and one from critical. And then I want you to tell me what it means. So your job is to pick one thing. For mild, you have non-pneumonia and you have mild pneumonia. So pretty much, I want you to tell me what pneumonia is. And so you would write pneumonia under mild disease, and then you would explain it. For severe, you have 1, 2, 3 things here that you can write. For critical, you have 1, 2, 3 things that you can write here. I want you to tell me and describe what that means. If we move on down to number 15, where it says go to differential diagnosis. Oop, did I skip it? And boom, I'll side note, all of this stuff is right here. You don't actually have to Google it. You just have to read it. All right, so if we're going down, boom, differential diagnosis. All right, what are 3 other illnesses that a person could have the beginning stage symptoms of COVID-19? You're just giving me the names. You don't have to explain them. You just have to give me the names that it's asking you for. And then critical thinking. This is for you to answer. Why is it important? So why is the article not up to date? We explain. Everything is constantly changing. Tell me why social distancing is important. And then I want you to tell me why washing your hands with soap is so important for the length of time of 20 to 30 seconds. All right, we're all done.